a user-defined function to phonetically transcribe Hebrew into the Roman alphabet. This function transcribes Hebrew instantly on condition that the Hebrew is with Nikud, meaning that it is voweled. The rules followed are a combination of modern Israeli, Academy of the Hebrew Language, and the Strong's Dictionary transliteration tables, as they are used by the Open Siddur project. There's a link in the description under the video. Combining these rules resulted, in my opinion, in a more readable text. Some comments about the transcription. Instead of shvanach and shvana, the inverted letter E, Unicode 601, is used. This is to distinguish between pronunciation of a long and a short E, the inverted E being the short one. The modifier letter apostrophe, Unicode 700, is used instead of the letter Aleph, and instead of the letter Ein, the modifier letter turned comma, Unicode 699, is used, both according to the Strong's Dictionary transliteration table. The letter Tzadik is transcribed to TS. The letter Chaf is transcribed to CH, Kaf, a Chaf with a dagesh, to KH, and Kuf to K. No capital letters were used for the reason that there appear some 3,000 names of people in the whole Tanach, not even mentioning names of places. This makes capitalizing beyond the scope of this project. In the description below the video are links to download the code of the YKE Hebrew Transcribe UDF. About the code itself, I try to keep the code as simple as possible for a rather complex thing as pronouncing words in a foreign language. The code is in fact a long sequence of the if function checking whether a string contains a stub string. All Hebrew characters are being replaced, so even if you would add ta'amim, cantillation notes, to the original Hebrew text, they will appear at the right places in the transcribed text. In Unicode, the vowel characters are placed after the consonant characters, which doesn't always fit the Hebrew language. For example, if a chet is the last letter of a word, it is pronounced as ach, like ruach or sholeach, but if it's not the last letter in the word, it's pronounced as cha, like mitachat. As far as I've been able to check, all instances of these combinations were transcribed correctly. If you find any mistakes, please leave me a comment. In Hebrew, the pronunciation is often dependent on preceding or subsequent characters. Therefore, it's important that the if statements in the code are executed in the right order. It doesn't matter whether you apply the function to a single word or to a whole sentence, as long as you don't exceed the Excel limit of 32,767 characters per cell. When using this function, best practice is that after it's finished transcribing, to copy all the results and paste them back as values only. UDFs are volatile functions, meaning that they will recalculate every time when any change is made to the sheet, which is totally unnecessary and might make the workbook very slow. Every line in my transcription is preceded by the name of the book, chapter and verse number. If you're using any text from, for example, the Mechon Mamre website, which is what I did, then you'll find that chapter and verse numbers are actually Hebrew letters. Preparing the text for transcription, I separated these letters from the text and converted them to numbers using my YK Gematria function. There's a link under the video. Unicodes 64300 to 64335 are included in the function code, even though I haven't seen them used in text that I have transcribed. This adds quite a bit of processing time, but hopefully this will make it possible to transcribe text that does contain them without mistakes. The funny thing about these specific Unicodes is that they are recognized by Excel, but not by VBA. Nevertheless, running text with these Unicodes inside will transcribe correct. Also see the comments within the code. If you would like to transcribe a Hebrew text that doesn't have any Nikud, go to the Nikud website first to add Nikud. In the description below the video are links to an Excel file containing all of the Tanach with Nikud in Hebrew and the transcription of the Tanach and the list with all the Unicodes. Also, you'll find a link to a PDF file with a transcription of all the Tanach.